Hello children, today we are discussing magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current in 12th standard physics. This is the second session of question and answer discussion. We have here 2 marks, 3 marks and 5 marks discussion, and I will be telling you the questions are based on examination point of view, the marks split up and what are the keywords we are discussing today. First we will discuss 2 mark questions. The first question, what is resonance condition in cyclotron? So, this is the question. What is the answer? Resonance condition, that is frequency of the positive ion field which circulates in the magnetic field, that must be equal to the constant frequency of electrical oscillator, that is the cyclotron will be connected to an oscillator and that frequency is called F oscillation. So, we can write the expression also, F oscillation is equal to QB divided by 2 pi m. Then the next question, is ammeter connected in series or parallel in a circuit? Why? So, that is the question. So, ammeter is always connected in series in a circuit. So, if we search for the key point, it should offer low resistance, that is the key point, low resistance such that it will not change the current passing through it. So, ammeter, it is connected in series to measure the circuit current. So, this is the answer. So, an ammeter must offer very low resistance, that is an ideal ammeter will offer 0 resistance. So, this is the keyword here and this is a 2 mark question. Then the next question is, in the path of the, why the path of the charged particle not a circle when it is not perpendicular to the magnetic field? So, this is the question. So, if a charged particle moves in a region of uniform magnetic field such that its velocity is not perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the velocity of the particle is split up into 2 components. So, one is parallel to the field while the other is perpendicular to the field. The component of the velocity parallel to the field remains unchanged and the component perpendicular to the field keeps changing due to Lorentz force. Hence, the path of the particle is not a circle. Then, what happens to the domains in a ferromagnetic material in the presence of external magnetic field? Here you can write 2 points. The domains having magnetic moments parallel to the field grow bigger in size, that is the first point, and the second point is it will be rotated. The other domains which is not parallel, that will be rotated and so that it is aligned along the field. So, this is the second point. So, next question, how is a galvanometer converted into ammeter and a voltmeter? How an ammeter works, that is it must offer low resistance. A galvanometer is converted into an ammeter by connecting a low resistance in parallel with the galvanometer. That low resistance can also be called as shunt resistance and that is denoted by S, that shunt resistance is called S. So, this is how a galvanometer is converted into a ammeter. And the next one, what is the question? How is a galvanometer converted into a voltmeter? So, a galvanometer is converted into a voltmeter by connecting high resistance, that high resistance is RH and RH in series with the galvanometer. So, the low resistance to convert a galvanometer, it is connected in parallel. So, a galvanometer to be converted into a voltmeter, a high resistance in series. So, this is the answer. So, 1 mark each. So, this is a 2 mark question. Then we will see a few 3 mark question. Now, here I have taken a problem, a very simple problem. Compute the intensity of magnetization of bar magnet whose mass, magnetic moment and density are given. So, what is the mass is given 200 grams and then the magnetic moment is given and the last is density. So, you have to convert mass, that is grams, it is given in grams, you have to convert it into kilograms, and the last one, the density, it is also given in grams centimeter minus 3. So, that has to be converted into kilogram meter minus 3. So, after converting this, so what is the formula now? Density is equal to mass by volume. Here we need volume and mass and density are given. Substitute in this formula. So, after substituting you will get the answer, that is volume. So, using this volume we have another formula. This is asked magnitude of magnetic moment is given and what is intensity of magnetization, this is the question. So, formula for this intensity of magnetization is m, it is denoted by m, that is equal to magnetic moment divided by volume. So, magnetic moment is given and volume we have calculated in the first part. Now, substituting we will get the answer. Next question, two materials X and Y are magnetized whose values of intensity of magnetization are 500 amperes per meter and 2000 amperes per meter respectively. If magnetizing field is 1000 ampere meter power minus 1, then which one is stronger, can be easily magnetized. So, what is given in the first part, it is the intensity of magnetization is given. Now, we are going to find susceptibility. What is susceptibility? Susceptibility formula is psi m. So, the symbol which is similar to an X, that is psi m, that is called susceptibility, that is equal to what is intensity of magnetization and magnetizing field. You have to substitute the values and you will get the answer. And for the another material Y, the susceptibility, in the formula the values are substituted. So, now the susceptibility of the material Y is greater than that of the susceptibility of X. So, which is magnetized stronger is Y can be easily magnetized. Then the next question, compute the magnitude of the magnetic field of a long straight wire carrying a current of 1 ampere at a distance of 1 meter from it. Compare it with Earth's magnetic field. So, what is given? A straight long wire carrying a current of 1 ampere at a distance of 1 meter from it. So, now what is the formula? B is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r. So, what is given? The value of the current is given and the value of the radius, that is r, that is also given. So, magnetic field due to the current which is flowing in the straight wire, that is written as B straight wire. So, the formula, what is the formula? Mu naught I by 2 pi r. Now, mu naught we know the value 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Henry per meter. So, substituting the value of current I, so that is also given and r is also given, we get 2 into 10 power minus 1 Tesla. Now, one part is over. So, if the question is what is the magnetic field due to the straight current carrying wire, means you have to stop at this point and you will get 2 marks. But since it is a 3-mark question, one more question is asked, compare this with the Earth's magnetic field. So, now we know what is the value of Earth's magnetic field is 10 power minus 5 Tesla. So, comparing it, which is lesser, magnetic field due to the current which is flowing in the straight wire is lesser. So, 100 times lesser. So, this is the question. So, this is the split up of the mark for substitution, formula, then the answer, then the comparison. Now, we will move on to 5-mark question. So, first 5-mark question is deduce the relationship for the magnetic field at a point due to an infinitely long straight conductor carrying current. So, this is the question. So, what we have to find? Magnetic field at a point due to an infinitely long straight conductor carrying current. So, now this is the diagram. So, the one which is shown in red color, that is the wire carrying current, and there is an arrow mark in that wire and that is the direction of the current, and the point to be calculated, that is the magnetic field at that point to be calculated is P, and it is at a distance of A from the center of the wire. And from in this wire y dash, we take a small elemental length dl, and the distance from dl to P is r. Now, first we calculate the magnetic field due to the small elemental length dl at the point P. Then we will calculate the magnetic field due to the whole wire, that is the current flowing wire. So, this is the diagram. You have to mark theta. What is theta? The angle between the conductor, that is the current carrying wire, and the point P is theta, and pi you have to mark what is the value of pi, where to mark d phi and all. So, this is the diagram. With the help of this diagram you can explain this. So, for this diagram they will be giving half mark, and for this explanation they will be giving half mark. What is this explanation? You have to explain the diagram. And how will we calculate the magnetic field at the point P due to the small elemental length dl? We are using Biot-Savart law, and that is that expression dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into ideal sin theta by r square, and that one unit vector. So, this is the first formula. With the help of this Biot-Savart law formula, we are going to calculate the magnetic field at the point P. So, now we consider three triangles step by step, then the triangle APC and the last one is OPC. So, from the first triangle you have to calculate what is AC. So, how will we bring this AC into that? We will find what is sin theta, and then finally we get AC is equal to DL sin theta. And one more step is we have to find what is AC again? R d phi. So, we get these two equations. So, from in the first equation, instead of DL sin theta, we substitute this R d phi. So, marks will be given for each stage, that is till DL sin theta on half mark and till R d phi another half mark. Then from the last triangle we are finding what is cos phi, and we are going to substitute R from that cos phi. So, what is R we have to find, and that is also substituted in equation 1. So, we get an equation. So, till this the marks are allotted stage by stage. Then finally we get dB. So, this dB is the magnetic field due to the current element dl. Now, this is only due to the magnetic field due to the current element dl. Now, we have to calculate the total magnetic field at P due to the conductor y dash. Now, what we have to do is, so for the total magnetic field we have to integrate. So, using integration we calculate B. From dB we calculate B, and integral dB we get the answer. Then if we have this infinitely long conductor, so it is, since it is an infinitely long conductor and this pi 1 and pi 2 is taken as 90 degrees. So, substituting this we get the final answer mu naught I by 2 pi a into that unit vector n cap. So, this is the split up. Then the next question, calculate magnetic field at a point on the axial line of a bar magnet. Now, this question is similar to the one which we discussed in electrostatics, which we studied in electrostatics. The same question, there we had two charges, one positive and negative charge, that is Q1 and Q2. Here we have two magnetic poles, that is north pole and south pole, and each pole has a pole strength, and in the same manner along the axial line we are going to take a point, and at that point we are going to calculate the magnetic field. There we calculated electric field, here we are going to calculate magnetic field. And now this is the diagram. So, a bar magnet is shown, north pole and south pole, and then along the axial line we have taken a point C. So, due to north pole, what is the magnetic field at C? That is the first part. And due to the south pole, what is the magnetic field at the point C? Then what is the net result at the point C? That is only shown in the diagram, and nearby the unit vectors are shown, I, J, K is shown. So, now first we are going to write the magnetic field at C due to the north pole. So, now we have to calculate the distance. The distance we will get is R minus L. So, we are substituting this R minus L in the formula. BH is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into Qm. What is Qm? Qm is the pole strength divided by R minus L whole square into that unit vector. So, this is due to the north pole. Now, we have to write in the similar way for south pole. The distance for south pole is R plus L. So, again we are substituting in the formula. So, now we are getting the magnetic field due to that south pole at the point C. Now, what is the total magnetic field? That is the net magnetic field due to the magnetic dipole at point C. That is B is equal to B north plus B south. Now, we wrote two equations, that is B north and B south. Each will carry marks half mark, and this equation B vector is equal to B north plus B south, that will also carry a half mark, and the diagram will carry a half mark, and the explanation will carry another half mark. Now, substituting in B north and B south, we get this equation. So, this part is fully a mathematical simplification. So, using the formula, that is R plus L into R minus L is equal to R square plus L square. So, that formula is used here, and we get a final result. Now finally we have to that is substitute magnetic dipole moment Pm is equal to 2 into Q into L. So Qm into L, that also carries mark. So these are the equations and we will get the final result. So final result will also carry another half mark. So each and every time you will not be having the same key, sometimes the key might slightly change. So the split up will be like this. Each and every equation will carry marks or it will be divided into steps and the marks will be allotted, and for the final, that is Pm is equal to that magnetic dipole moment, you will be given a half mark. So this is the split up of marks. Now the next question, derive an expression for the force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. So a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field and we have to calculate the force. So this is the diagram, and for this diagram we have to give the explanation. So now what all we can write, the Lorentz force, the charge carriers in the conductor are experiencing force. Now consider a small segment of the current length dl with cross sectional area A. Now the free electrons drift opposite in the direction of the current. Now we have to write the relation for this current, that is we know this formula I is equal to NEAVD. We have studied this in our current electricity chapter. Now the conductor is kept in a magnetic field B. Now what will be the average force experienced by the charges? So the formula is F vector is equal to E into V cross B, that is Vd cross B. Now first we have to draw that diagram. The diagram carries a half a mark. Then with the help of that diagram you have to explain. So what are we going to find and what is the length of the conductor and the direction of the current, the direction of the drift velocity, everything you have to write, and that is the explanation, and the explanation carries a half a mark. Now what we have written, the Lorentz force F is equal to minus E into Vd cross B we have written. Now we have to calculate number of free electrons present in unit volume, that is N is equal to N by V. So this Lorentz force will carry half a mark. So the next one, due to all the charge carriers, so what is the force, that is F vector is equal to, we have to write the substitute the small n value also and we will get this equation. So this will also carry mark. So what we have done is we have calculated for the total charges. Now dl we know the value, therefore the force on the small section of the current carrying conductor. So that we have to write it as an equation. Now we have bring it to the formula F is equal to I into L cross B. So this is written in vector form. So this will carry marks. So how will it be split up? The marks will be split up, the 5 marks will be split up is first for the diagram, then for the explanation, then for the stage by stage equations you will get, and the final formula is this vector form, the force given in vector form IL cross B, that is the vector form. So then you can write the same thing as the magnitude. So that is BIL sin theta. So this is the magnitude. Then if the conductor is placed along the direction of the magnetic field, that is parallel, then what will be the angle? Angle will be theta. Now if you substitute in that formula, theta is equal to 0, then sin theta will be 0. Then what will you get? The force experienced by the conductor is 0. So this is the condition when the conductor is placed along the direction of the magnetic field. Now if the conductor is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the angle will be theta is equal to 90 degree. Now you substitute in that formula BIL sin theta, that is the magnitude formula BIL sin theta. sin 90 is 1. Now what will you get? F is equal to BIL. This is the maximum force that will be experienced by the conductor. That is, if the conductor is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field, then it will experience the maximum force. So these 2 points, this will be given half mark and half mark. So this is how they will be splitting. So totally 5 marks you will get. Now the next question we are going to discuss is calculate the magnetic field at a point on the equatorial line of a bar magnet. Already we discussed the magnetic field at a point on the axial line of a bar magnet. This is along the equatorial line of a bar magnet. So equatorial means perpendicular to the magnet, that is from the center of the magnet we are going to take one point. At any point we are going to consider, and at that point we are going to calculate the magnetic field. So here also the magnetic length, the length of the bar magnet will be the same, and the north pole and south pole, pole strength is QM. So now the point we have to calculate the magnetic field at the point we have to calculate is taken as C, and what is the distance from north pole to that C, then what is the distance from the south pole to that point C. So now see the diagram. So this is the diagram, it will be like this. So from the center to the point A, that is what is the length. So now first what we have to write is the magnetic field due to the north pole. So that equation will carry half a mark. Then magnetic field due to the south pole. So now if we see the 2 equations, both the equations are similar to each other. Each equation will be awarded separate marks. Now the direction of these 2 magnetic fields are not in the just opposite. So we have to calculate the net magnetic field at that point P. So for this we are going to resolve each magnetic field into 2 components, one along the horizontal direction and the other along the perpendicular direction. So this diagram has to be there. So first diagram is about that the bar magnet and at the point where we are going to calculate. Now this is about the splitting up of the components, that is into horizontal and the vertical. So now here we have to split the magnetic field of the due to north pole and south pole both into horizontal and vertical directions. So now which will cancel this sin theta components will cancel each other since it is equal. As we have seen, both the equations are same, one and the same. These 2 will cancel each other because each are in opposite directions and equal and opposite, so it will cancel each other. Then we will be having the cos theta components only. So now again from the diagram we are going to calculate this cos theta. So we have already calculated both the sides, what are the value for the sides. Now from that triangle, we have 2 triangles there, from any one of the triangle we are going to calculate this cos theta. So now calculating this cos theta, we are going to substitute in that equation. So the calculating this cos theta value also will carry mark. So then next what you are going to do is twice the magnetic field into that value of the cos theta. This is the next equation, this will also carry marks. Now you have to substitute the values. So after substituting the values you have to simplify. So simplifying, that is mathematical simplification, and then finally you will get one answer. Now here we compare that is the length R and L. So comparing R and L, the length of the magnet is very small when compared to the length of R. So it is neglected, that is approximation, that is neglected, and then R power 4 is used, and here the final formula is got, and we have finally we have to mention in which direction the magnetic field is acting, that also will carry mark. And the magnetic moment, what is the magnetic dipole moment, you have to write, since we are substituting at the last stage, so that will also carry marks. So the marks, the total 5 marks will be divided like this: for diagram, then for the explanation, then each and every formula, wherever you are using the formula, that is magnetic field due to the north pole and magnetic field due to the south pole, then the total net result, then cos theta, then again substituting, then final formula, and then what is the magnetic dipole moment, each will carry marks. So totally the 5 marks will be split up into this. So since this is a lengthy derivation, you might be making mistakes when you are writing the distance, that is due to north pole and south pole. You have to be careful and you have to check whether you are getting both the magnetic fields the same. That is the first point. And then while substituting, you will take 2 times into the magnetic field and into cos theta. So all the diagrams are important. Wherever you are writing this magnetic field, and you have to mention the unit vector, that is the direction of the unit vector. So today we have discussed 6 2-mark questions, then 3 3-mark questions. All the 3 3-mark questions are problems, then 5-mark questions. So I have discussed about the marks split up. In the examination point of view, the split up might change, that is each and every time we will get a different split up. So that is not a problem, but mostly the diagram carries mark and the explanation carries mark, and if it is a problem, the formula carries mark, the substitution and the answer be given separate mark. Wish you all the best, students. We'll meet in another session with another topic. Thank you.